when you're provisioning a boat, the only thing that matters is the cost per unit, right? Not quite so fast. Hi, I'm Nika Waters, and welcome to the Boat Galley podcast. I'm talking about the economy of size as something that you need to consider maybe more strongly than you ever have before. Today's episode of the Boat Galley podcast is sponsored by the Boat Galley. The Boat Galley is the resource that you need to learn what the cruising life is like, to get ready to live aboard, to throw off the dock lines, to flatten that first year learning curve, or to improve life aboard once you've been living aboard and cruising for a while. There are over 1,000 articles, more than 600 podcast episodes, as well as courses and products, free and charged, that will help you every step of the way. Check out theboatgalley.com, where we work to make boat life better. I was talking to a friend the other day, and she's on the west coast of Florida, getting ready to get the boat ready to go to the Bahamas. And she said, I'm about ready to hit Costco. What do I need? And the first thing that I could think of with Costco is beware of the size trap. When you look at the stuff on the shelves at Costco, and not everything is the same, but if you go to any warehouse store, one of the things you're going to find is the cost per unit, whether that's ounces or serving or fluid ounces or whatever it is, looks incredibly small. You can get this massive jar of mayonnaise, the biggest container of grated Parmesan cheese that you've ever seen in your life, for less than you would spend on a small tiny wedge to put in your fridge. And it's hard not to think that's absolutely the way to go. Maybe it's a 40-pound bag of jasmine rice that costs maybe $1 less than buying it by small packets. But here's the thing. Those great big containers, they're problematic in two ways. One, finding a place to store it on your boat. Depending on your boat, this may or may not be true, but finding a place to store it on your boat can be challenging. It's often easier to find spots to put lots of smaller containers on the boat because they fit into different places more easily. And the second challenge with one of these monster containers, particularly the things that need to be refrigerated after opening, or actually not even, what do you do once that container is open? If it's that big monster jar of mayonnaise, and even if you're not refrigerating it because you're using a brand new spoon every time you go into it, where are you actually storing that open container of mayonnaise? If you're dealing with a 10-pound bag of pasta that you might have gotten, or the 30-pound bag of flour, what happens when you open that container? Where does it go? How do you store it in such a way that it doesn't spoil, and it doesn't spill, and it doesn't go bad? So the economy of scale size and the economy of size, I would argue, as much as it pains me as a budget-conscious sailor, as much as it pains me to say, I think it makes more sense to look at the size first. You've got to be able to store it. You've got to be able to use it up. And yes, if all those things are the same, great. Go for the one that costs the less per unit. But size absolutely matters. And so when I was talking to my friend about her Costco run, I pointed that out, but also said one of the things that I love about Costco is that some of their canned goods, for instance, come not in just one big massive can, but they come in case sizes of regular size cans. And the savings on those are really incredible. So when you're provisioning and you're thinking about budgeting and how best to use your money, it's way better to buy more expensive seeming small size things that you will use up before they go bad. Because otherwise, if you buy that big massive jar of mayonnaise for $15 instead of 3 $5 containers that are a fraction of that size, but then you have to throw 3/4 of that big massive jar of mayonnaise out, it's not a savings at all. It's expensive in terms of storage. It's expensive in terms of waste. It's expensive in terms of plastic that you've thrown out. So be aware. Economy is not only about money. when you're talking about life on a boat. I can't wait to share an anchorage with you, and maybe we each have our favorite things that we've gotten in small containers that we can share as we get to toast this incredible lifestyle that we have the incredible good fortune to be able to live. Thank you so much for listening to the Boat Galley podcast. We love hearing from our listeners. We love it when you leave us a 5-star review because that helps other people find us. We love it when you don't forget to subscribe in your favorite podcast app, and we definitely love it when you share us with your friends. Have the most spectacular